And we're back. Oh boy. It took another break, but it was a little longer. It's like an hour, so. Still same day. Onward! Fuminori wasn't going home, as became obvious when he boarded a train heading in the opposite direction. I'm a little tired. Koji's next guess was that he was going to see his doctor at the T University Hospital, but Fuminori rode straight to the closest station. Okay. First, Kochi felt ashamed for telling his friend like this, but his conscience fell silent as Fuminori's actions grew more mysterious. The stranger it gets, the closer Kochi feels to discovering the truth behind Fuminori's sudden transformation. Any knowledge would be welcome, no matter how slight. Even Kochi is beginning to think there must be more behind Fuminori's change than the accident alone. He wants a more satisfying answer, one that will help him decide whether Fuminori can still be trusted. Fuminori gets off at a small station in a nondescript suburb of Tokyo. Oh, so they live in Tokyo. Who would have thought? Pretty standard. Kochi follows, trying not to lose sight of him amid the other disembarking passengers. The area is quite desolate, with only a small bookstore, a convenience store, and a market in front of the train station. It's easy for Kochi to keep Fuminori in view. Oh geez, this looks like a real place! What the hell? This neighborhood was carved out of Fuji's foothills, and here out of the Fuji... I thought it's because Fujimori... I forgot his name already. Well, I read it, but I don't remember it. Carved out of the Fuji foothills, and here and there remain steep inclines and wooded areas that escaped assimilation. Koji is amazed that such a quiet place exists less than an hour out of central Tokyo. Honestly, yeah, me too. But they do have suburbs like this. I've never been there, but I've watched enough anime and seen enough vlogging videos. Not very credible source, but I know about as much as you can without actually going. Fuminori, yeah, that's why I thought Fuminori seems to know these streets. He moves quickly and purposely through the suburban community, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Before long, Fuminori reaches a house. Without ringing the bell or even knocking, he opens the door and vanishes inside, leaving Kochi to wonder how Fuminori can treat the house as his own. Ooh, that is a real house. After waiting to see if Fuminori comes back out, Kochi approaches the gate and checks the nameplate. Ogai, it reads. Kochi has never heard of anyone by that name among Fuminori's acquaintances. Next, his attention is drawn to the thick wad of leaflets sticking out of the mail slot. This, coupled with the general dilapidated feel of the place, suggests that it has been abandoned for some time. A small playground about 2 blocks away provides an adequate vantage point from which to watch the front of the Ogai home. Fortunately, it does not appear to be the sort of house that has a rear exit. Kochi settles down on a bench to begin his stakeout. Should have brought more smokes. Wait, oh, he smokes? Oh, interesting. Maybe it's vape. No, this is probably not. 1 hour passes, then another. Oh, geez. But there remains no sign of movement around the Ogai residence. Soon twilight settles upon the neighborhood. After Koji's 1 pack of cigarettes runs out, damn, he smokes a lot. The stakeout becomes a battle against mounting impatience. He kills time by redialing Omi on his cell and sending her short text messages, but his efforts are futile, as he knew they would be. Oh yeah, she dead. When the sky begins to turn deep blue and the streetlights come on, Fuminori finally emerges from the house and heads back toward the station with the same hurried stride. After some brief consideration, Kochi decides that right now, investigating the house is more important than tailing Fuminori. It makes sense. He rings the doorbell just to make sure. After receiving the expected silence in response, he checks to make sure no one is watching and turns the doorknob. The door is not locked. Okay. The moment he enters the house, stale air thick with mold and dust fills Koji's nostrils. It is the unmistakable smell of a house that has long lain untouched. There is also a faint hint of something else in the air. Something reminiscent of damp sewers and fetid cisterns. Flipping the light switch does nothing. The power must be cut off. It probably hasn't paid the electric bill because he's been gone. Oh yeah, the cigarette lighter would actually probably help. Koji uses his cigarette lighter to illuminate the immediate area. In the thick dust covering the floor, he sees several brand new trails of footprints that could only have been made by shoes, Fuminori's. Koji decides to follow suit and dispense with courtesy. He enters with his shoes on. Ooh, shoes on? Cringe. Oh. The lighter's flickering flame pushes back the deathly silence and gloom of the house. Koji is surprised to see evidence of life remaining. Huh? Everything from furniture to tableware and appliances, nothing seems to be missing. Okay. The thickness of the dust suggests that the house has been empty for several months, which means that the owner must have left with little more than the clothes on his back. Could he have gone on a long vacation? The calendar in the den is still turned to April. Empty and silent, yet still exhibiting signs of life that was once lived there. The house reminds Koji of a passenger ship entombed at the bottom of the sea. In the graveyard-like quiet, a sinister thought suddenly enters his mind. No one is living here, but that does not have to mean that the owner left. Oh. Maybe he was murdered and his rotting corpse is right under Koji's feet. He finds himself wanting a stronger light. A flashlight in his hand would make him feel much better. Koji follows Fuminori's footsteps to the second floor, where he begins to catch the scent of paper in the stale air. It is the smell of old books, instantly recognizable to anyone who has worked in an antique bookstore or library. I love that smell, by the way. Love it. Oh, did not mean to click that. Okay, lots of books. The first room on the second floor turns out to be a study. Its towering shelves packed with such a vast number of books that Koji fears for the stability of the floor. Okay, calm down. As a medical student himself. Oh, he's also a medical student. Interesting. He's able to discern at a glance that this study belonged to a medical professional, and a high-level one at that. Judging by the content of the books, a smorgasbord of technical volumes far beyond a simple student's understanding. The owner's interests lie more with the medical research than with clinical practice. Okay. That's worrying. Fuminori must have spent most of his time here. The scattered dust suggests that he was searching for something, and the contents of the desk drawers are in obvious disarray. A small pile of books stacked on the side table catches his eye. Being next to the desk, they must have been the most frequently read. Their nature could shed some light on the character of the person who worked here. Koji frowns as he examines the 3 books. These aren't scientific texts like the rest, but old, leather-bound Western tomes like the sort you find in a rare bookstore. Oh jeez. The titles are meaningless to him. Try de chiffre. I don't know French. Try de chiffre. You know, I know like linguistics for many languages. I could like read German fine. I could read Japanese fine. French is something I know nothing of. Like I can even read Indonesian fine. Even that's pretty easy though. Appears to concern. Oh, maybe it's Latin, like ars magna et ultima. Actually, wait. Appears to be concerned semiotics. I know all these. I recognize all these words. Ars magna et ultima. Ars. I know this is Latin 100%, and I have seen these Latin words. I wish. Wait, is this some kind of treatise on divination? Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh. Okay. Ars magna. Man, I'm really hung about these pieces. I know all 4 of these words. I've seen them. I have seen them in sentences. Okay. And then there's the Voynich manuscript. Wait. Guys. Guys, is this a Blue Archive reference? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I wonder what that actually is in real life. Maybe I should look more into the Blue Archive items because I know it's like a lot of like biblical lore to it, so maybe that is biblical. We could see. Which looks like some sort of picture book. When he pages through it, he finds the text utterly incomprehensible. Maybe it's some kind of cipher. Whatever they are, they clearly have nothing to do with medicine, refuting Kochi's earlier guess that this old guy was a doctor. Looking down, Kochi suddenly notices the glint of something black and metallic underneath the chair. Pocket-sized flashlight. Oh, that's nice. Quite out of place among all these dusty books. Fuminori must have brought it in. Hey! With relief, Kochi exchanges his lighter for the flashlight. His tiny body emits a powerful white beam that casts away the darkness. His courage restored, he decides to explore the rest of the house. Oh god. Koji notices something strange, something that was not visible in the lighter's weak flame. The slime. Dark, oily stains are everywhere. The stains are especially thick around the doorknobs and stair banisters, like someone grasped them with hands wrapped in greasy cloth. Looking closer, he sees places where the slime was splashed low on the walls, almost as if a wet mop was run violently across the floor. Yeah, a little weird. Go to Ogai, I've made these marks? If so, how? Koji begins to feel sick as he imagines a man shambling through the house with slime dripping from his body. Why from his body? Finding the bedroom next to the study, Koji checks the closet on a hunch. He discovers 2 empty suitcases, not what one would leave behind when going on a long vacation. Sudden chill rose through him. Whoever was living here is still somewhere inside the house. I kind of have a theory now. This just popped in my head randomly when reading all this. Could it be that Saya killed her dad because she's kind of a grotesque monster and kills things? But she would know, wouldn't she? Maybe she doesn't think much of it. Yeah, I don't know. Suppressing the urge to flee, Kochi goes back downstairs to check the first floor. That is kind of the direction of fleeing. If he finds a corpse, he'll have to call the police right away. He might get away with trespassing if he reports it first, but if they find the body later, it'll be awfully hard to explain his fingerprints all over the house. Yeah. The flashlight reveals the den had been covered in even more slime than the rest of the house. The sofa looks as though it was dredged from the bottom of a swamp. In the kitchen, Koji takes one look at the sink and decides not to get any closer. He doesn't want any more fuel for his imagination. He reaches the door to the bathroom. Oh, that's gonna be even worse. A common scene from TV dramas flashes through his head. A body with slit wrists floating in the bathtub full of water. Okay. And wasn't there a movie where a hitman disposes of his victims in a bathtub filled with lye? I wonder how lye would react with iron, wouldn't it? Because it's sodium hydroxide. I don't know how bases react with metal, because I know they go through, if it's cast, most tubs are cast iron, I think, right? I actually don't know. Most tubs are ceramic, right? Whoops, I didn't mean to click. I don't know what ceramic's made of. I think it's, actually. Yeah, no, I actually don't know, funnily enough. Koji braces himself for the worst and opens the door slowly, then shines his light into the ceramic bathtub. Hey, I was right about bathtubs being ceramic. That appears from the darkness like a white ghost. Bones! Oh shit, what? A mountain of bones black with dry flesh and blood. Hey, at least it's not a dead body. It's just a lot of them. Koji puts one hand against the wall to steady himself as his legs threaten to buckle. Something is wrong. He realizes he tries desperately to get his thoughts in order. The bones are too small, and there are too many of them. Maybe it's like the cats or dogs that Saya eats? They aren't human. Okay. After taking several deep breaths to calm himself, Koji enters the bathroom and examines the tub. The bones are piled on top of each other like fallen leaves. They appear to be from small animals, perhaps cats or dogs. Ayy! Even so, the quantity is mind-boggling. How many bodies would it take to produce this many bones? The bones have all been separated from one another, so it doesn't look like the bodies were just thrown into the tub and left to rot. Each bone is covered with deep grooves, marks left by teeth biting through flesh. Koji's sanity won't let him consider the possibility that a human could have done this. The owner of this house must have kept some sort of carnivorous animal as a pet, giving it the bones of small animals to eat and disposing of the remains in the bathtub. Still kinda weird. But why not dispose of the leftovers properly? They could have just been thrown out with the garbage. Or was there something keeping him from leaving the house? Huh? The relief Koji felt when he realized that the bones weren't human is once again under attack. In the first place, what the hell was Fuminori doing here? Oh! Oh, hi. Koji rolls around his light, revealing Fuminori's expressionless face. Koji replies, barely managing to speak over the pounding of his heart. Fuminori pushes past Koji and looks into the bathtub. He doesn't even flinch at the sight of the bones. Koji doesn't want to believe that the old friendly Fuminori could have had contact with the denizens of this house. He says, turning to leave without even a glance at Koji. Koji runs after Fuminori. His heart is finally beating normally again. Standing in the entrance, Fuminori glares coldly at Koji over his shoulder. The other lack of emotion in his eyes gives Koji pause. Koji swallows. What can he say? Jeez. Fuminori walks away without another word, leaving Koji alone in the entrance. Up until this moment, concern for his friend was still on the forefront of his mind. Now, however, that concern is swiftly giving way to a growing sense of dread. Does the Fuminori he knew no longer exist? Was the person who just stared Koji down an imposter wearing Fuminori's skin? Koji has begun to believe that it might be so. Oh, I mean, if you see the world like this, I can imagine. What a nuisance. Why does he insist on interfering? If he only spoke with me to exchange pleasantries, even I could bear it. But now he's sticking his nose into my business just to satisfy his curiosity. Koji is a perfect example of someone who thinks that it's always good to take an interest in other people's affairs. He probably thinks that he's doing me a favor by prying into my life. Something tells me that this guy is off his rocker a bit. And it's hard to tell if it's from his situation or if he was always like this. Let's see. He couldn't be more wrong. If he keeps this up, I might have to find some way to deal. Yeah, no, he's off his rocker. Yep. It's like at first he seemed like he was just like tired and like wanted to avoid it all. But now he's just like pissed about it all. Like Saya said, I have to keep my search for Dr. Ogai a secret. Kochi could ruin everything. I didn't have time to fully investigate the Ogai residence today. At this rate, it will probably take several days just to go through the study. Saya didn't believe that I'd find anything to help with the search, but I think there's still a lot to explore. Who knows what I'll discover? Problem is Koji. He knows about the house now. Will he make things difficult? Ugh. A hair-raising voice calls as I'm about to pass through my gate. Suppressing a shoulder, I put on a fake smile and turn to face the writhing mass of rotten flesh that is staring at me with bulging eyes. Hi. Ah, of course, this is my next door neighbor, Suzumi. A middle-aged painter, I think. Spends all day at home while his wife works. I haven't had much contact with him since the accident. Why is he suddenly talking to me now?
はい、おかげさまで。
It's... Okay. What is this? Did he stop me just to deliver a lecture? Yeah, I'm like, this is weird even if it was normal. Like, I understand, like, the concern, but the way he's acting is like... Oh, is it because of how bad it looks outside?
まあそうですね。苦労してます。だがまだ学生の身ですし、たかいが限りがあるんだ。
The flesh beast undulates foully, as though it has something to say. The sight of it is driving me close to the edge.
あ、いえ、お構いなく。一人でもなんとかなりますから。
Now I get it. He's worried about the unsightliness of my house might diminish the image of his own. Damn snob. I flashed a token smile, then retreated behind the safety of my gate. I can feel Suzumi's eyes boring into my back all the way to the front door. Why won't everyone stay out of my life? I just want to live together with Saya, alone where no one will ever bother us. Man. Suzumi Yosuke sighs in annoyance as he watches the neighbor boy retreat into his house. What's with his attitude? Even while talking, he kept his eyes averted, as if to avoid looking at something repulsive. Has he always been such an unpleasant young man? No, of course not. When his parents were still alive, he had been a normal youth, a little shy but sensitive and caring. It must be the stress of his sad situation. If it continues to build, he might start to develop a serious mental problems. I'm too late for that, buddy. Or is it too late already? Yup. Yosuke wonders as he gazes wearily at the Sakisaka yard. Even during dinner, Yosuke can't shake the neighboring... Oh, don't go in. The neighboring house from his mind.
どうしたのあなた。難しそうな顔して。
今日ね、隣の家の息子に会ったよ。
お隣のって文則お兄ちゃん？
ああ、庭のこと一言言っておいた。
The stink from the Sakisaka house grows worse each day, and the Suzumi family is at its wit's end.
あの草むらの中に死んだ猫でもいるんじゃないかしら。
Oh jeez.
もう住んでいて気づかないのかしらね。あの匂いに。
まさかとは思うが、生ゴミをそのまま庭に捨てているんじゃあるまいな。
そんな、いくらなんでもそこまで。
いや、今の様子だとやりかねん。一日中ずっと雨戸を閉め切って何をやってるのかもわからない。どういう暮らしをしているのやら。
お兄ちゃん、頭おかしくなっちゃったのかな。
Well.
これヒロミ、そういう言い方はダメよ。
いや、あれは本当にちょっとどうすぎてる。ひょっとしたら変質狂か何かかもしれんな。
大丈夫なのそれ。
早く自覚して医者にでも行ってもらわんことにはなんともな。
The seconds crawl by, each tick on the clock compounding my agony. When I returned from the old guy residence, I was greeted by a silent, empty home. Saya had vanished without leaving any clue as to her whereabouts. It isn't rare for her to go for walks at night. I've often gone with her. However, such outings always take place in the middle of the night when no one is around and never last for more than 2 hours. Right now it's 5 in the morning. Soon the sky will begin to show the first light of dawn. Even if she left right before I returned, she's still been gone for almost half a day. Can't sleep. I can only wait in anguish. I try to distract myself by painting more rooms, but I couldn't concentrate on the work. If I had known this would happen, I would have left the Ogai house sooner. I wish I hadn't wasted time on Koji. Saya doesn't return. Thought makes me want to tear out my hair. After its long absence, the terror of true loneliness is too much to bear. At last, the cowbell... Oh, ow. Last, the cowbell chimes and Saya's long-awaited Tadaima... Tadaima? Why did I read this? I'm home rings out from the bottom of the stairs. As I jump out of my bed in relief, all of the stress that has built up through the night is released in a wave that threatens to sweep me off my feet.
疲れた。やっぱり往復すると遠いな。
Saya sighs as she climbs the stairs.
さや、一体どこに？
My question trails off as I notice the thick bundles of paper that she was carrying under her arms.
それは
文則のカルテとか手術の記録。
Oh.
今日は古巣の病院に行ってきたの。
Saya drops her bundles on the floor, sending papers flying everywhere. Then pulls her favorite cushion over and collapses into it, stretching luxuriously.
こんな夜中に T 台から歩いて戻ってきたのか。
ごめんね。本当はもっと早く帰れると思ってたんだけど、調べ出したらキリがなくて。
She says, skillfully gathering the scattered papers together.
結局全部持ち出してきちゃった。ああ、重かった。
Maybe it's just exhaustion, but I'm not understanding a word Saya is saying.
だからそんなもの持ってきてどうするつもりなんだ。
どうするって、もちろん調べるのよ。うちで時間かけてじっくり。
She replies, holding one MRI photograph after another to the light. Okay. First I thought she was playing around, but the occasional mutters of,
あ、これは要チェックかな。あとは、そうなんだ。なんだかな。
Is this going infinitely? Okay, good. And the like as she separates photos into growing piles beside her make me think this might not be a joke after all.
わかるのか、こういうの。
Oh, does she?
パパにいろいろと教わったから。
She flashes me a grin,
そういうことは。
then returns to the papers.
これじゃ
I don't wanna talk over her.
いつまで経っても直せないよね。
Oh geez, what?
直せないのか。
人間のお医者さんじゃん。ね。
Huh? Can't tell if she's being serious.
私でもまだちょっと
は
難しいかな。
No, I know you're not
い
human,
ろいろ
but
と試してからでないと。
she says offhandedly, even as her hands continue to shuffle papers. Watching more closely, I realize that her eyes are scanning each page rapidly. So rapidly, in fact, that I was unable to notice it at first. Could Saya actually be reading my charts?
なあさや。
She answers coolly, looking up from the charts.
今日はもう疲れたし、寝ないか。
文則がそうしたいならそうする。
Saya replies with a grin. Oh. Saya tosses aside the papers she was sorting, then leaps on me and begins to tear off my clothes.
おい。
ねえ、寝る前に一回だけ。ね、いいでしょ？
And that's where we'll end the episode today. It's the half an hour mark, so I might as well do it here. We're in for an interesting one on the next one, though. Alright. Okay. Bye-bye.